Hello and welcome back to Ssgt Girl Talk. If you noticed our 2-week hiatus, no, you didn't. But we're back. We had reading week, so we were away doing things. And then last week, things happen. Yeah. We're students. It's not, yeah.
No.
It's a busy time.
Semester?
March is the November of of the semester. I find it's a little nicer because it's like spring-ish and at least the sun's out. November's like I actually just want to end everything.
It's dark.
Yeah, it's dark. It's depressing. It's dark at 4 p.m. At least March. My birthday's in March too, so.
Oh, well, there you go. Little bonus.
Yeah, everyone comment next week on our episode. Oh, not next week, the week after. Sorry. Anyway, but we're back is the main point here. And today because we've been gone for so long, just have a little women's sports roundup for you. Lots is happening in women's sports right now. It's kind of the peak season where everything's overlapping a bit. We're getting started with everything. So, yeah, we're going to give you a roundup on a few things. It's also International Women's Month. So we'll be sharing
best moments
for women's sports, for women in sports. It's also International Women's Day coming up, so everyone tell a woman you love them, basically, and appreciate them. That's what I have to say. So yeah, let's just get right into it.
You're listening to Ssgt Girl Talk, where women in sports take the mic. We're talking careers, culture, and stories that deserve the spotlight. Whether you're on the field, behind the scenes, or in the stands, this is your space.
All right, I'll get us started with the PWHL is back in action after the Olympic break. It was an eventful Olympics for women's hockey, more so after the fact. So I guess we'll get started with that because that's kind of the elephant in the room here. But the women's Olympic hockey happened. The USA beat Canada in the finals, which everyone saw coming. USA had an insanely dominant tournament, literally let in 2 goals all tournament. Absurd. And so going into the finals, they were the heavy favorite. And
of course.
Especially, given their performance in the Olympics, and as we kind of talked about on our first episode, or second episode, anyway, as we talked about at some point, that Canada lost all the rivalry series games. They were the underdogs coming in. They were the defending champs, but they were not the better hockey team. But come finals day, they were the better hockey team, which was absurd. They were winning 1-0 the entire game. They let them tie it late, and then the U.S. won in overtime. Heartbreak for Canada, incredible game for U.S., and good hockey game all around. I'm glad it was close. It could have been a blowout.
It could have.
It really could have
been so much worse.
But anyway, so USA wins. Okay, everyone's happy. Not everyone, but whatever. Everyone who likes women's hockey, even the Canadians are like, okay, whatever, hard-fought game, better than we thought it was going to be. Mm-hmm. Obviously heartbreak, but a silver medal is a silver medal. And then the same thing happens in the men's game. Canada's outperforming them. They're outshooting them. They can't score on empty nets, but they're outplaying them. And then U.S. comes back. U.S. wins in overtime. Jack Hughes wins it. And for a minute, everyone was like, okay, Jack Hughes, we like him. Like, there's been a lot of talk of, okay, these Americans are kind of,
less favorable
personality-wise. And everyone's like, okay, keep politics out of sports, whatever. Sure. And then Jack Hughes scores, and we're like, okay, maybe that's a win. Like, he's one of the good ones. Like, at one point, the Brock Faber, Quinn Hughes, and someone else line, they were like, okay, like, those are the 3 likable ones. Those are, like, the redeemable characters.
We don't mind them.
We don't mind them. And then they won.
And then,
And I was like, okay, they won. Unfortunately, they beat Macklin Celebrini. They beat Connor McDavid. We're kind of sad for our little first overall picks of doom and despair over here. McDavid deserves to win something, but maybe not this year. That's okay. Crosby was out, so it doesn't even really count. Whatever. And then they get their medals. They have the American flag. The Kachuk brothers are just like carrying the American flag around. It's like, okay, that's a bold choice right now. Yep. They did the Goudreau thing, which was very nice and very favorable and lovely that they brought the kids out. Very cute, very respectful. And then they went back to the locker room, and I think they left the respect on the ice because they were partying with Pwhl is his name.
I think so.
Yeah, and then they got a phone call, and they were like, oh my God, who is it?
Who could this be?
And it was Donald Trump, which is just like not probably the play. It's one thing to be like, let's keep politics out of hockey every time Pride Night and like Black History Month comes up, basically, and anything that you don't align yourself with. And then just like the second you win, inserting literally the politics, the guy into your dressing room. And honestly, it could have ended there and it could have still been horrible, but it didn't end there. No. It ended with a misogynistic joke at its roots, where Trump said, "Oh, you guys are invited to the White House." And that in itself, horrible enough. Say no. But they all laughed and they said, "Yes, I'd love to come visit your home. I love you so much." And then he said, "Oh, and I guess we have to invite the women too, huh? Or I'll be impeached," which is an insane joke for someone who has been impeached and probably should have been already this year. Yeah. And then all the boys laughed. And someone redeemable yelled 2 for 2, but that's still, you're still on the phone with Donald Trump. Even if you're celebrating the women's win, you're still on the phone with Donald Trump. Yep. And so, not so redeemable. Yeah. And the Hughes brothers, front and center, laughing when their mother built the U.S. women's national program with her own 2 hands, basically. And then she came out and defended them, and it was like, man, I can't have anything in this sport. Like... And then after the fact, everyone's being like, okay, sorry, I shouldn't have laughed at that. Charlie McAvoy had a good quote. He was like, we were caught up in the moment. Yeah. That's not how we feel about them. That's not what reflects them.
Project ourselves, yeah.
And then Jack Hughes just doubled down and was like, everyone's looking to be so negative. You're partying with the most negative man on the planet, but sure. And then someone else was like, no, that's not how we feel about them. Like, we were out with them till 3 a.m. Oh. I was like, so that's not... That's not supporting women's sports. That's just saying you were partying with them till 3 a.m. after winning a gold medal. That's not quite the defense you were looking for.
Going, yeah.
And then a few of them weren't present at the White House, and everyone's like, oh, bless them. And Elliot Freeman tweeted, he's like, they all wanted to go. Some of them just couldn't. So do with that what you will. Yeah. But that's kind of the big Olympic women's hockey news that kind of brought us back into the PWHL season. But as we were getting back into the PWHL season, something fantastic happened. Connor Story hosted SNL. You're familiar with Connor Story?
Yeah, I've seen like some clips.
Yes. Which is great in and of itself. That's great sports news. Go Heated Rivalry. But then he invited, or SNL invited, Hillary Knight. Yeah. And
the
so... And who was the other one? Was it Jenner?
I'm not entirely certain of her name. I don't remember her name. I know her face. I can't...
Anyway... It was Seattle. Yeah, look it up, because
I'm going.
I keep seeing her face, and then I'm like, ooh, I should know that.
Hillary Knight and Megyn Keller.
Oh, Megyn Keller. Yes. Okay, so he invited Hillary Knight and Megyn Keller, and then there were whisperings of they were inviting the Hughes brothers. And everyone's like, don't ruin a good thing. Like, don't. Yeah. Like, really?
Like, let's just.
And then the Hughes brothers showed up. Oh my God. And they killed it. Like, they did the only PR move they possibly could have done, and they just positioned the women's hockey team as, like, obviously the better team. Like, not obviously head-to-head better team, but they better organization at this point, because they were like, oh, we won the first gold medal in 49 years or whatever. Yeah. And then it cuts to Hillary Knight, and she's like, oh, we won our first medal since 2 Olympics ago. Yeah. So the women's national team program is just, like, insane and deserves so much more respect than what they got. And I'm glad that they killed it on SNL. And then they went on Jimmy Fallon and basically did the same thing. So it was just a little press tour. But what was funny for Hillary Knight was she literally played, I think, either the day of or the day before SNL. Okay. And then, like, had to fly basically from Boston, not far, but, like, went Boston, New York, on SNL, back because the season started. And so good for her, good for them. As much as we aren't cheering for American wins, we're cheering for women's sports wins, and they obviously came out of this whole ordeal the better looking team, except for maybe Abby Murphy, who was just so supportive of everything Tage Thompson does, which is never the play. No.
But, there's always
they're American. Like, there's gonna be at least one of them.
Be something.
They're rich Americans too. And what I think was really eye opening for this, and then we'll move on from the politics so early in the episode. But what was really eye opening from this is so many people who had just gotten into sports because of the Olympics and just gotten into hockey because of the Olympics. And they're like, oh my gosh, what NHL team should I support? What players are, like, not Trumpies that I can support? And it's like, oh, I'm so sorry, none of them. Like, they all...
Yeah. There's a lot of PWHL
there's a lot of PWHL
support now.
Yes, it's great. Good. And PWHL posted a great, like, Hockey 101 because they know they have so many new fans. And if you're here and you're like, which PWHL team should I support because I want to align myself with politics that I agree with, don't support Minnesota. Anyone but Minnesota, unfortunately. Yeah. Which is so crazy because Minnesota is such a democratic state. And it's like we Britta Curl. So, and Ken Klee.
I might take back my
Yeah.
First episode statement.
I told you would.
Yeah.
Yeah. But with that, we'll get into the actual PWHL news. So if you are looking for a team, you can decide what you would like based on the standings. That's fine. I know some people are like, don't just pick the best team. Pick the best team. I don't care. Because the Montreal Victoire are the best team right now. They're first in the league. And if I had to
They've
cheer...
gone, like, unmatched at the Bell Center, right? Like, they haven't won... I mean, they haven't lost a game on home ice.
Yeah, they've only lost 5 games.
Yeah.
So that's kind of absurd. Well, they've played 18, lost 5. Yeah. That's crazy. But yeah, if you're looking, I guess let's go through every team and say if you're looking for a team to support, why you should support the Montreal Victoire. They have Marie-Philippe Pwhl and Laura Stacey.
Yep.
That's about all you need to say. They're quite literally
more.
just couple goals.
Yep.
They've won Olympic gold medals together. They do this thing every game where they're the last two on the ice for warm-ups and they stack the pucks and then they leave. And it was obviously their first game back after the Olympics yesterday at Coliseum against the Toronto Scepters, and I was lucky enough to be there working. And the cheers for MPP were so loud, it was absurd. Like, PWHL is the only sport where the home team would be cheering for the away captain so loud. It was like, okay, guys, can we remember that, like...
We're here for Toronto.
Because Montreal scored, and then everyone was kind of like, oh, boo. And then they announced it, and they were like, goal by Marie-Philippe Pwhl. And everyone's like, oh, my God. It's like, okay, guys, let's be for real. But there are a lot of Victoire fans. Because there's so few teams, a lot of people are just like... And I know there's a team in Toronto, but still, people in Toronto are still fans of who they like because they probably liked the athletes before the team was made. Yeah. So if you're a big MPP fan...
If they were more popular before the actual team's established, I feel like they're just going to follow where they went.
Exactly. And, I mean, Montreal and Toronto aren't far, so there were a lot of Victoire fans there. Yeah. And one thing I have to say about the PWHL, just while we're on the topic of me working yesterday, so the PWHL, they always say, like, okay, like, we're over kind of the whole, like, first... inaugural season, like, okay, this is no longer just like, how does it feel to play in front of so many people, like, talking about the hockey. And I totally agree. We should stop being like, okay, you sold out another arena, okay, like, obviously it's great, and we should appreciate that. But you don't have to be like, okay, like...
Every single time.
Every time, like, it's getting a little much. Like, let's just say we're established now. That's the expectation now. Exactly. And Sarah Nurse had a great quote about that at the Battle on Bay Street last year. She was like, ask me about stats. Like, I want to talk about, like, what I did wrong. We need to start criticizing these people more. Or Julia Tochiri also said, like, we need to start, like, actually analytically looking at the hockey and being like, you're bad, actually. Because the same way you'd look at the Sens, you'd be like, oh, my God, you suck right now. You'd look at Seattle Torrent and be like, okay, guys, we need to win a game. But anyway, I totally agree with that and align myself with that mindset until they play O Canada at the Coca-Cola Coliseum and everyone's standing and everyone's cheering and the arena's full and I'm somehow almost in tears. Every single time. Yeah. Every time it's something about the Canadian national anthem that, like, at a women's sports venue, I'm just like, okay. And I'm working, so I'm like, I'm fine, actually. But yeah, that's how I feel every single time. And I just had to say that because literally every time they play the anthem, I'm like, okay, I love women's sports. But yeah. So
patriotism comes suddenly.
Yeah. I love my country, I love my sports, I love women. Basically. Yeah. And so if you're looking for a team to cheer for, Montreal's in first and they're very likable. But if you are not looking at Montreal and you want to cheer for the Boston Fleet, they're in second. Yeah. They've got Hillary Knight.
They do.
Do they? Yeah, they do.
They do.
I know they do. I just said she came from Boston. Freaking expansion draft. I second guess myself. Anyway, they have Hillary Knight, great hockey player. That was her last Olympics probably, so what a moment for her to bring it home.
End off on,
They also have Ssgt, which I love her. She's not even like a top player on the team, really. She's just like,
I don't really
her
know
outfits, her pregame outfits, perfect every time. She's just very likable. Love her. She was in Ottawa. She got traded, whatever. So go Boston Fleet. They are in second currently with 8 wins. So
nice.
One behind. It's close between them and
Yeah.
they're only 3 points back of Montreal, and 3 points is a win in the PWHL. So I love how they do their stuff.
The system,
actually. Every rule they have is fantastic, except for their overtime and shootout, actually. I was talking about this yesterday because the game I went to was a shootout. And I love every rule. I love the jailbreak rule. I love the way they organize their draft. I love the 3 points for a win, 2 for a tie or like whatever, and 1 for an overtime loss or whatever it is. Big fan of that. What I'm not a fan of is they do 3 periods of hockey. Sure.
Okay.
They do 5 minutes of 3-on-3. Okay. Like, I like that for a regular season game because it's the equivalent of adding someone on second base in extra innings. Like, you want the game done faster. So if you want the game done faster and you're doing a 5-minute overtime, why are we doing a 5-round shootout?
5 rounds.
Not only a 5-round shootout. So standard's 3-round shootout,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And then they're like, okay, so if the standard's a 3-round shootout, we're going to let you have to pick 3 different people to shoot. But once you've done your 3, you can reuse someone.
Oh.
So why is it required 5 rounds then? Just make it
Yeah,
3
just
rounds
have it
and then
3.
have the rules be normal.
I feel like
Because the normal rules are 3, and then once you're past that, it's just 1 round, 1 round, 1 round, and you can use whoever you want. You can set up the same person back to back to back. But no, theirs is 5 round, but you only have to do 3 different shooters. And so 3 different people, and then you go to the 4th required round, and MPP's back out on the ice. And like, fair enough, I'd throw her back out there too, and Daryl Watts came back out too. But like, if it's gonna be required 5 rounds, make it 5 required different shooters.
Yeah, different people.
Or just please don't make it 5 rounds. Just make it 3.
Yeah.
As someone
It's a
who was
little
working
interesting.
until like 10 p.m. last night, just make it 3. But I just find that so odd. I love every single one of the rules except for that one. That one confuses the hell out of me. Okay. Next up, we have the Minnesota Frost. Unfortunately, no, I'm kidding. I still like some of their players. I really like Grace Zumwinkle and Taylor Heisey.
Yeah,
They're
Taylor
great.
Heisey.
Taylor Heisey, I love. She's like the redeemable factor on that team.
Exactly.
And they're in 3rd with 28 points, so they're a little bit further behind there, 7 points behind Montreal. So it's really between Montreal and Boston for the first bit, and then the next kind of 3 or 4 teams are close. I mean, Minnesota's kind of on an island here in 3rd, because then it goes to New York and Toronto are now both at 24 points.
Okay.
New York,
I don't know much about them.
yeah, I don't know if anyone's a New York fan, to be honest. So if you're out there and you're looking for a team to support where you're like in a small little group of 4, go for it. No, they have they still have Sarah Fillier. Yeah, and they've got some good prospects. I think they will be good. They've been pretty bad the past 2 years, and now they're kind of up to 4th, but they're tied with Toronto, so there's a chance they make the playoffs for the first time, I think.
I think so.
So maybe hop on board now and be an OG and be
exactly.
like, I was there when they made the playoffs for the first time. So there's that. And then Toronto, obviously, very lovable roster. Just a very well-known roster. They've got Daryl Watts, Natalie Spooner. Blair Turnbull was incredible. It was her bobblehead night last night.
Oh, they have bobbleheads?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I know. I didn't get one, obviously, but I
gotta
saw
go
a
to more
bunch of people with
PWHL
them.
games.
Yeah, you do. They're so affordable.
Yeah.
And local. Anyway, yeah. Toronto just has a great roster. A lot of likable people in there. Emma Malte.
Emma Malte?
Emma Malte? Emma Malte. And Reagan Kirk, their goalie, is great too. So, yeah, just love them on all accounts. Maggie Connor scored yesterday. She scored from like behind the net accidentally. Like it hit off the goalie's skate and went in. And she just kind of was laughing the whole time. She's like, oh, okay. So very likable as well. Then in 6th, we have the Ottawa Charge. They're only 1 point back of New York and Toronto. And in the PWHL, top 4 teams make the playoffs. So as it stands right now, Montreal, Boston, Minnesota, and New York. But Toronto's kind of tied with them there. They just don't have the whatever the next tiebreaker is. And then Ottawa's 23 points, so they're right in the playoff race. They're also a very likable team. I'm from Ottawa, and
Yeah, you're a little biased.
I cheer for Toronto and Ottawa. I cheer for women's sports, really.
Yeah.
I just like cheer for the athletes I know, and like if they do something good, I'm like, okay. But I don't really have like a team. But I do like the Ottawa team. I love Gwyneth Phillips, their goalie. Just like took them to the Walter Cup finals last year, like single-handedly. She was just like, we're making the finals, by the way. And it was like, wow, you shouldn't have probably won half those games, but
You did.
yeah. They also have Emma Clark, who I love. So also a good team to cheer for. What's funny about them is they have 4 regulation wins and 5 overtime wins. They've been absurd in overtime this year. I guess now Montreal has 4 overtime wins as well, but for a while, like the beginning of the season, Ottawa like had their 5 within the first like 7 games or something. That's not true. That was an exaggeration. Okay. But they had a lot early, and it was just like, man, like win in regulation. Like they just kept winning in overtime. Next up, in the last 2 places are our 2 expansion teams who are still good teams to cheer for. Golden Eyes, I think, have the best color scheme and logo in the game right now. And I'm so excited for their real jerseys next year because I think they're going to be insane, like insanely good. So I'm hyped for that. They, however, only have 19 points and are probably not going to make the playoffs. And it's going to be between them and Seattle for who gets the first overall draft pick. They are the 2 expansion teams, obviously, so...
They're working up.
They stole Sarah Nurse, though, so they still should be good.
I
they have 5 wins though. It's not like they're not good. They just have they just don't have any overtime wins, and every other team has a few overtime wins, and they've won, so not a lot of points there. And then Seattle in last with 16 points, so they're also probably
They're a little farther.
they're probably
off.
looking to get eliminated as soon as possible so that they can
get back
calculate
in,
or like start racking in those draft points. But yeah,
Yeah.
that's your PWHL recap. We went over the playoff picture kind of as it stands right now. Season's over in April-ish, end of April, and then we go on to playoffs. So there's still lots of time for that to change, but for now it's looking kind of like a 6-horse race because of those 2 expansion teams not quite doing well yet. I'm sure they'll be great in the years to come. Like, it took New York a few years too. Yeah, they're still building for sure. Once they have real jerseys, maybe they'll be like, oh, Aura. And then they'll just be really good. Like, I don't think Vancouver could be bad in the jerseys that they're wearing. Like, it's like, you just look too good to lose, actually. So, yeah. Okay, do you want to do one of yours? Because I just feel like I've been yapping. Sure. So we can move on to you, and then we'll come back to what I have next.
I know you just had your race hangover podcast.
Yes.
But I'm going to go a little bit to the women's side, so F1
Please
Academy. Season opener happening next week in Shanghai. That's super exciting, isn't it? The rookie Megan Bruce signed with Tag Heuer.
Heuer.
I don't know how to say that.
Depends on your accent, I think.
Yeah. So that was exciting for her, obviously, first and foremost.
Yeah.
One racer that I think would be cool to look out for is Matilda Potts. She's racing under Aston Martin, and she's 17 years old, which is absolutely insane to me. She moved up the ranks very quickly in her rookie season. She won 14 of her 18 races in 2025, and then she got, in the winter season, she had a 3rd place. So I think she's someone cool to look out for. And then also, for the first time ever, F1 Academy is going to be racing at Silverstone in July for the Grand Prix weekend. I think
that'll
very
be fun,
exciting.
for sure.
I think it's just kind of setting the stage for expanding the women's
calendar.
Yeah, that was kind of, that's my little highlight points for that.
Yeah.
But
and talking about my team in F1, my favorite thing about McLaren's, they have an F1 Academy driver, and they have a few like reserve and like F4. One of their F4 drivers is, I believe, a girl. They have 3 Ellas.
Yeah.
The 3 girls they have in their program are all Ella.
Yep.
And one of them Schumacher's daughter or niece or whatever.
Related.
But the fact that they have Ella squared, or not squared, to what would you, to the power of 3, but like what would you, is there a term
cubed?
for that? Yeah, sure is, man. I
haven't been to math in a while.
I haven't been to a math class in probably 6 years. No, 5.
I think it's been 5.
I think it's actually been 5 years.
It's 5 years.
Wow, I've been so peaceful. Oh my god, you know the chains breaking off the hand guy. Me when I don't have to do math. That's awesome. Okay. Yeah, I'm excited for them to be in Silverstone. That's one of the best races on the F1 calendar, and I'm glad they can do it. Because F4 gets to do it, and like yeah.
But then why wouldn't they go?
Why wouldn't the Academy? This is off topic. Well, it's on topic, but it's off topic. Have you watched Drive to Survive?
No.
Me and Austin watched the first 2 episodes.
Yeah.
Well, because I don't really watch it. We watched the whole season, so I know what happened. No. I'm saying we watched the whole F1 season, so I know what happens. Like, it's funny the way they make it so dramatic, because it's like, I know it's going to happen. Like,
it's not that dramatic.
Because they're like,
the way they frame it is so
like, oh, how's Jack going to do in Alpine? I'm like, I know how he does. He's gone. It was so sad to watch because the first episode is the Australia Grand Prix. Yeah. And, like, all the rookies crashed. Kimmy had a bad qualifying. Like, everyone's emo AF. And I'm like, I can't watch this.
I know. It was so sad.
It was so sad. And then the second episode is Jack Doohan getting cut. And I'm like, oh my God. And then the third episode, I think, is Liam getting switched, which is out of order. Like, they don't do it in order.
No, it's not in the correct.
But it's just like, but it's good for like to watch before this season, just because there's a lot of things that I forgot happened. Mm-hmm. And last season was a great season. Like, Hulkenberg podium is in the second episode. Like, lots of fun stuff happened, and it was a great F1 season. So it's a good little refresher, and to see kind of more of the inside moments of that kind of stuff. But it's not an accurate retelling in full. But it's fun to
they
just
do
watch
add a
some
little
drama.
bit of spice.
But sometimes that's entertaining, especially if you're like interested in the sport anyway. And I was saying, like, as much as some people hate Drive to Survive, that would be one of my dream jobs to work on it.
Really?
I really like.
I might be one of the haters. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm not. I don't love the show, but
Yeah.
I really like producing like documentary style stuff, and I like F1, and I think it would be super cool to like edit work in the editing room for that. I just think it'd be sick. Just as an experience, it wouldn't be like, oh my god, this is my lifelong dream type, and I want to do this for the rest of my life.
To Drive to Survive.
Yeah. I just want to like at some point be like, wait, that's really cool. Yeah. Anyway, but another random tidbit actually, I was in because this is working in sports actually as a woman, and it was very interesting. I was working, obviously, the PWHL game yesterday. I was down in the media room, and it was me and my friend that like works a lot of the same games at Coca-Cola that I do. And I know she watches F1 because she wears like a McLaren, or she wears a Max Verstappen hoodie sometimes. Oh. And so I was like, oh my god, excited for the new season. We were talking about my fantasy team because me and Austin like are doing a fantasy, and I drafted Max first overall just because I feel like he's the most like, we don't know what the cars are like, but Max Verstappen's gonna be good. You know? And it pained me because I knew Austin was going to take Lando second. And I didn't even want Lando that bad. No, I didn't even want him that bad. I just wanted Austin to not have him because that's his favorite driver. So I'm like, man, it'd be really funny if I took Lando first, but I didn't. And then Austin took Ollie, and I'm just devastated, but whatever. Not the point. So we're talking about F1, and I was like, oh, are you excited for Australia? Blah, 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 blah. And then she was like, oh, is that this week? Like, it's come up so fast. And this guy, the only other guy in the medium room from, like, across goes, yeah, it is this week. And I was like, oh, Lord. Like, just because, I'm like, is he going to think we know nothing? Like, whatever. Yeah. And so he's, like, chatting a little bit, and he's like, if you don't mind me asking, like, how did you guys get into F1? And I was like, oh, well, my, like, best friend is just, like, British and very into it, and so he kind of like forced me to watch it. And I was like, and I work, like, I obviously enjoy and work in sports a lot, and that was one that I wasn't familiar with, and he just kind of like kept talking about it, and I kept seeing it everywhere, and I was like, okay, I'll watch a race. And the first race I watched was, well, this season was my first season, which was an incredible first season to get into it because it was very entertaining. And my first race the first race I watched was Suzuka though, which was the most boring race of all time. Max Verstappen pole conversion, just nothing, right?
I think so.
And nothing happened at all. And that's the worst one to watch in Canada because it starts at 3 a.m. or whatever. And I watched the entire thing in full in bed.
You were committed.
And somehow I was like, this is awesome. And
At least there's that.
I was like, I love this. Like, this sport's really fun to watch. And if I can get through that race, every race is going to be incredible from now on. So Austin will complain sometimes and be like, this is such a boring race. I was like, I loved it.
This was so fun. What are you talking about?
If Suzuka's the bar, I loved it. So I told this guy that, and he was like, oh, interesting. And then the other girl was like, yeah, my roommate was really into it, and we both like have trouble sleeping. And so like, if we're going to be up at 2 in the morning, we might as well watch a race, whatever. And so he was like, oh, interesting. So neither of you got into it through Drive to Survive.
No.
And I was like, no, because I don't think Drive to Survive would just be something you'd like stumble upon.
You just like, you wouldn't just be like, oh, scrolling through Netflix. Let me choose
exactly.
that.
Like if I didn't watch F1, I wouldn't be scrolling through Netflix and being like, oh, I might as well watch this F1 show.
Yeah.
So the concept that women are Drive to Survive fans is still definitely prevalent, but he was like not like, I think that's obviously what he thought, but not, he was an older man. Like, I don't think it was like he was purposely being harmful. He was just like, oh, like this new show is probably getting a lot of young girls into the whatever.
I think it.
Because he's like, when I was growing up, I never would, like, people your age and girls your age never would have been watching F1. But we were saying, too, I think it's the accessibility of the drivers. Like, you can be a fan of the driver.
And they'll be, like, posting all the time.
They'll be posting. You feel like, it just gives, for me, it gives me someone or something to root for no matter what happens. Like, it could be a meaningless Isaac Hadger overtake for 10th place. And I'm like, okay, go Isaac. Like, I like him. That's what I said to the guy. I was like, that's like what it is, I think, because like you just feel it. Not that it's parasocial and that you feel like you know them, but it's like I know a little bit about every driver, and they all have something I can root for, and so it makes it more entertaining to watch. Because there's the common thing like, oh, girls only watch F1 because the drivers are hot, and it's like you really can't see what they look like in the helmet and moving 300 kilometers an hour. But if I know stuff about them and I like them off the track, I can then watch them on the track and cheer for them. So I think that's what gets a lot of people into it nowadays, is just the personalities more so. And that's what all sports are moving towards, which is why it's so important to be likable on and off the ice and off the track and everywhere.
In this age of social media.
And it comes full circle. So with that, that's my yap about F1, I guess, and my lived experiences as a woman working in sports. And then he was like, yeah, I used to shoot F1 all the time. And we were like, so
What?
do you know anyone still in the... Can you get me a media pass or something? He was like, yeah, I've been all over the world for them. Like,
Oh.
I was like, oh,
So why didn't you share this
awesome.
before?
Yeah. He was like, I can't wait to see you guys at the game next week and we can talk about it. Because actually I work they have a game on Sunday, the 8th, and here Australia is the 7th, so I can't wait to talk to him about it.
What? On the 7th?
So the
I can't
Pwhl
count.
plays the 8th.
Yeah.
And
It would be the 9th.
the race?
Yeah.
No.
What?
It's Saturday at 11 p.m.
Okay. Can't do math. Really just prove
I
that.
only know because I know.
Yeah.
Because I looked. Yeah, it's
I got confused because
yeah,
we were
they're
going
ahead.
back in time.
We're back in time.
Yeah.
So then we're
I know.
if I didn't look it
I
up,
just
I'd
mean,
be
like,
confused.
Yeah.
No, it's actually very nice. It's because I was so excited that it's actually like a good time. It's 11 p.m. on a Saturday. I'll be up.
Yeah.
That's great.
You'll be there.
I'm excited. And then it goes to Japan and it's like 3 a.m. on a Monday. And I'm like, oh, no, can't do that. Probably will, but can't. Okay, so then I just yapped again, but whatever. We're going to move on to some Unrivalled basketball. For those of you who don't know, Unrivalled is women's 3-on-3 basketball that all the WNBA players, not all, but a lot of them take part in during the off season. They recently expanded this year and added 2 new teams. I think 2. Definitely at least 2.
2, yeah.
Yeah. Notably, adding a team of young guns called the Breeze. And a lot of people were like, oh, this team's really young. I wonder how they'll do. It was Paige Beckers, Cameron Brink, and Kate Martin. They were going to do well.
They were going to do great.
And they were just like the most, like, Paige Beckers just has so much aura. Like, man. They're just so entertaining. She's so funny. It was so fun to watch. And yeah, they added them, and a lot of people are like, oh, they might not make the playoffs. Their expansion, they made the playoffs. So there's 8 teams in the league. It's 3-on-3. And the top 6 teams made the playoffs. So that was the Phantom, the Mist, the Laces, the Rose, the Breeze, and the Vinyl. And then the Lunar Owls and the Hive did not make it. Some of these teams and logos I love. I know. The names and the logos and the colors, like the Breeze colors are like pink and purple, and it's so good.
It's the Breeze, man.
The Rose I really like. They're like a blush pink and then a green.
Ooh,
like it's very nice.
yeah.
The Rose, a lot of like bigger names play for it too. Like a lot of people like that team as well. But the semifinals happened, and the Mist beat the Breeze in a very close 73-69 game, and then the Phantoms beat the Vinyl 83-75. So the Mist and the Phantoms will play on the day we were recording this. It'll be yesterday once this is posted. So our socials will probably say who won, but if I make a social post, I'm gonna try.
We'll make
Our socials will say who won. Let's lock that in. But yeah, they play in the finals today. And that's just, it's so fun. I love 3-on-3 basketball. It's super fun to watch. And a lot of these girls or women in the WNBA played 3-on-3, like internationally. Like Caitlin Clark, who's not in the Unrivaled League, but Caitlin Clark, Paige Beckers, and Cameron Brink all played together on the U.S. 3-on-3 team. And so they're like, a lot of them are really good at 3-on-3. And like, obviously Cameron Brink's going to be insane at 3-on-3 because she's like 7 foot. Not actually, but she's so tall. And I love her. She's, okay, pause on her because she's an icon. She's so tall. She's so good at basketball. She always has the best outfits. She is basically a model, and she's like besties with Steph Curry. Like, okay, can I have your life? All right.
It's really funny. I do not know a ton about basketball. I didn't even know they had 3-on-3 basketball, but that does sound a lot more entertaining.
It's
like,
it's like quick.
It's
shorter games. There's only 3 of them. There's only 3 people to follow. It's a very good like, okay, we're in the off season. Let's keep people interested in basketball. Let's get them entertained. Unrivaled. And it's like they get to play with their friends. They don't play on the same teams that they do in the WNBA, so it's like completely different. And it's just more fun, and it's vibes, and it's more for entertainment than it is for like, okay, let's play really good basketball. Like obviously they play good basketball, but it's just fun. And it's a good little off season. And like NBA does it too with their like summer league and stuff, but I think the 3-on-3 move is just so fun. So that's what I have.
Something different to like do as well.
Yeah,
'cause I can imagine like
you play different
time after time would be kind of like, oh, is this really what I'm built for? But if you get to kind of play around a little bit,
and it still keeps them like
in the
playing
game.
and in the off season. It's such a great idea, and so many people are like, I see so many TikToks of people being like, oh my god, you just learned about Unrivaled. I'm so happy for you. Like, There's so many TikTok trends where it's like, oh my God, you just unlocked that. Like, I cannot wait for you to become obsessed with it. And I want a Breeze jersey. Like, I just love Paige Beckers. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Moving on to whatever you have to yap about.
My next yapping topic is the Women's Six Nations Rugby Championship. It's in April, so we got a little ways to go, but there's already, like, news and stuff kind of ramping up, happening. The ticket sales for the opening game are already over 60,000, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
I think the venue can hold 82,000, and last year they had just over 81, so we're working to kind of, I think they're going to pass what they had. It's in England, I think.
Because is it the same one that was in Vancouver, or is that something different?
No, I think that's slightly different, because the nations are England, France, Italy, Ireland, Scotland, and Wales. Okay. So it's in Europe. I'm pretty sure the opening one is in England.
Okay.
And it's England versus France, I believe.
Fun.
So, yeah, a lot of people will come for that.
Yeah.
And rugby is becoming so much more popularized in the media. Yeah. And I think, like, North American rugby obviously started getting more popular in 2024 with the Olympics and Alona Mayer, all that stuff. Mm-hmm. But now it's less of, like, a minor kind of league seen as. Like, it's a major league sport now. Like, we're in a time where it's becoming something that is more normalized, I guess. And it's kind of on media more, which is great to see. Yeah. So, yeah.
Rugby's so fun.
It is so fun.
Fun to play, fun to watch. Yeah. And I'm glad, because, like, in a lot of ways, it's so similar to football, and it, like, or even Aussie rules football. Like, a lot of those are very mainstream, and rugby is just kind of, like, falling through the cracks when it's such a, like, there is such a big community for it, and the players are such a big community, and the fan base is such a big community, so I'm glad it's becoming more mainstream. Yeah.
England, honorable mention, they're after their 8th consecutive win.
Wow.
Which is crazy. They've got the most total wins, like, throughout history. They used to be the Five Nations, and then it was kind of a toss-up between Spain and Italy, and then in 2007, Italy was, like, the official 6th one, but, yeah, they've got 20 of 29 wins this England, so they're going strong.
And they're hosting, so...
Yeah, so they're having a good time.
It'll be one to watch.
Yeah.
Interesting.
That's kind of it for that.
Yeah, that's okay.
There's not much happening yet, but
no,
as it kind of goes on, there will be more.
Yeah, it's an interesting time for women's sports right now. Like, some things are wrapping up, some things are just ramping up, like the Pwhl, and then, like, there's just a lot of moving parts. But there's always something going on in women's sports now. Like, for a while, it was like there weren't women's sports to watch for, like, you had to wait for the NBA season to come back or whatever. But now there's always something to talk about, so yippee! And the last thing we'll talk about today is, like we said, happy International Women's Month and Day. So, we're just gonna rip through a few of our favorite women in sports. We'll make it in sports, obviously. Not just women. My list would be so much longer if it was just women. But women in sports, starting with a player that I didn't mention earlier when I was saying all the reasons you should like each Pwhl team, because I had her down here and I was like, hey, well, wait. So if you're looking for another reason to be a Boston Fleet fan, Zoe Boyd is that reason. She is so funny, great hockey player, and she's just, like, her sense of humor is genuinely just hilarious, and she has a podcast that's just even better. She interviews other queer hockey players, basically, and I don't know if it's only queer hockey players, but she does, and it's very funny. Nice. And she's just, like, her sense of humor is so dry and so, like, she sounds like French. I honestly don't think she is.
Let's see.
For everything I love her for, I don't know if she's French.
Canadian professional ice hockey.
She might be French-Canadian.
She was born in Caledon, so I don't think so.
Interesting. Well, she sounds... It's like... she sounds French, and her humor sounds French, which is awesome. Anyway, so I love Zoe Boyd. She's my favorite player / podcast host.
Nice. Are we like...
Okay, yeah, go for it.
Josie Baff.
Yeah.
Gotta go for her. Won the gold medal snowboard cross. Amazing. I saw her in 2023. She was talking to, like, this kind of juniors camp thing that I did, and I was just inspired from that moment, bro. Like, she was talking about how sometimes as, like, female athletes, it's very difficult to feel like you belong, especially in this sport, just because anything happens, it's a race and it's very difficult. But I don't know, she just talked about it and I was like, that's cool. Yeah. I like you. So yeah, she's awesome. She's so like humble and down to earth as well, and I think that's just really admirable in an athlete.
Yeah, for sure. In any athlete, but especially it's hard to be down to earth as a women's athlete because you kind of have to advocate for yourself so much. You have to be like, no, I am good, and then you have to be like, okay, wait.
Hold on.
But like it's a very interesting balance of being humble, but then also like advocating for yourself and fighting for yourself and having confidence. And so that is very admirable. My next two people are also, I think, towing that line. Claire Hanna and Kenzie Lalonde are two reporters / broadcasters that I've obviously been following because they report on the Ottawa Senators. Kenzie Lalonde also, well, they both do Pwhl stuff as well, and they were both in Milan for the Olympics, covering hockey. And Kenzie is just a play-by-play star. Like, she does the Sens play-by-play sometimes, which is crazy because there's not many women that do. Like, for TSN, she does it, so there's not that many women that do it, and I think she is just so good at what she does. Mainly because I think any play-by-play is so good at what they do, because I could never. But she's so great at it. She's so confident in front of the mic. I got to interview her for something like a project last year. Wow. She was very kind and very humble about that experience as well. And she was saying, like, when she did her, because she was the first woman to broadcast for like an NHL game on TSN. Mm-hmm. And I was like, well, like, what do you do with that weight on your shoulders? And she was like, it's crazy because in a way, like, the entire future of women in broadcasting kind of lands on your shoulders, and you just have to take a step back and be like, okay, I'm just going to call the game like I've called it a billion times. It's still hockey. And then Claire Hanna, who I also love, she has caught backlash so many times for just doing her job, but being a woman doing it, and she takes it in stride every time, and it's so great. Like, 2 years ago, I think, on Twitter, she, like, shortened a player's name. So the Sens had Jacob Bernard Docker, which is a long name to put in a tweet, because in a tweet, you have a very hard word count. So she put in her original tweet, he got injured in practice, and she was covered, like, she was at the practice. So she puts in the original tweet, Jacob Bernard Docker goes off the ice, whatever. And then in the thread, because Twitter works in threads, she shortens it to JBD every other time. Because if you're writing an article, that's basically the same as what you're doing. Like, you're saying it full the first time, and then you're saying just the last name the next few times. So she shortens it in all the other ones. But it was like the second tweet in the thread went viral because that had the actual video of him. So then everyone was like, who the F is JBD? Like, you're a journalist. You're supposed to be saying their name. Like, if you're not a Sens fan, you don't know who JBD is. This is so useless. I'm like, oh my God, stop complaining because her profile's a woman. Yeah. Like if Elliot Friedman did that, like, we don't complain about Elliot Friedman's stupid abbreviations for every team. Like, what do you even mean? What are you talking about? Yeah. But she shortens a name to his initials in a subtweet. It's still clear. He's in the video. Yeah. Like, she catches so much flack. And then she also, because she covers Ottawa, asked Brady Tkachuk about laughing at that joke, which is, for her to get up and do that. It's a fair question, first of all, but it's to have the confidence to get up and ask him about something that obviously people want to hear about. Like, that's such a relevant topic right now. Yeah. He has to know he's going to be asked that, and he answered with no malice, whatever. Like, he answered the question. He didn't say, like, that's a dumb question, you shouldn't have asked that, whatever. Yeah. But everyone on Twitter said that. Everyone was like, oh, you're going after our captain in the like, because she reports on the Sens, right? So everyone's like, oh, like, you're going after our captain, you're making him feel bad. Like, that's not what Ottawa should be reflecting. It's like, she's a journalist. She's not an Ottawa Senators fan. Just because you're mad that our captain said something stupid doesn't mean that you have to go after her. And, like, people were genuinely telling her to, like, kill herself and, like, sending her horrible messages on Twitter. And then someone sent her flowers from Calgary, like, a women's sports fan. They're like, thanks so much for asking that question, and then sent it to her. So that was very sweet. Nice. She deserves that. And then some other journalist was also like, Claire's doing her job. If she didn't ask that question, we would have. Like, so they both catch so much slack for being women and being good at their jobs, and I love both of them. Nice. So that's my rant on them.
Staying kind of in hockey. Emma Malte. She's, I don't know, I feel like I see a lot of her social media stuff. Yeah, she's very good at it. And I think she's really good at that, and it's just kind of funny to see all the things that she makes. And I think it's good for younger female athletes as well, because you kind of see an environment and it's not so daunting, maybe. Yeah. Like, I don't know, I feel like this is kind of like not what I'm going for, but they all seem very close. Like, everyone on the team is like friends, and they all genuinely do want to spend time together.
It looks like it's fun to play.
Like, it's fun. It's not just like
work.
Their job. Like, yes, they are professional hockey players, but it's not like their entire life revolves around solely winning and stuff. Yeah. Like, they do want to do stuff with the community. Yeah. And I think that's great.
It is. Yeah. They're public figures outside of, and they're good public figures, because every athlete, whether they want to or not, becomes a public figure, and it's like, okay, Connor McDavid's like a piece of cardboard, but a lot of the PWHL players are very fun to watch.
Yeah.
Okay, my last one really quick because we're running out of time.
Yep.
Cassidy Gray is my post-Olympics icon. I love her. Oh my God. I love her because she's so real. Like, yes, I agree. I love Seth Jarvis. Like, everything she says, I'm like, yeah, you're right. So, love her. She runs her own small business, so good for her.
Yeah. Go see.
All right. That's all the time we have, very much. I yap too much. That's my bad. Whatever. So thanks so much for joining us on this little roundup episode. We will see you next week for who knows what. So follow us on socials at @ShuttersportGirlTalk or something else on Twitter. You'll find it. Follow us on Instagram and though at @ShuttersportGirlTalk. Subscribe here. Follow on Spotify to be notified and subscribe on YouTube to be notified. And come join the conversation on any of those platforms. Yeah. Come talk with us, at us, whatever. Comment.
Fight in the comments.
Fight in the comments.
Not, like, fight, but, like, you know.
But, like, respectfully.
Have a conversation.
Yeah. And that's about it. I'm Katie LeBouler, joined by Tegan. I don't think I said that at the beginning.
I don't think so.
So if you've lasted this long and you didn't know who we were, now you do.
That's who we are.
Okay, bye.